I'm one of the co-presidents here with Trinity. So we're super excited to have you here. I'm not sure if most of you are probably here because you saw that we are recruiting for our bootcamp program, but we are also doing recruitment generally for all of our programs. So this info session is just really going to cover what is ASES in general, who are we as an organization, and what do we do on campus. And we'll also be covering what that looks like in a virtual setting. So a good amount of time we spent on bootcamp, but also be prepared to find out more about our other programs and other ways to get involved. I want to make it really clear that bootcamp is actually our only program that is competitive, which means that we only select a certain number of people, but all of our other programs are completely open without application. You're free to join. But first off, let's get started. Like, what is ASES? Who are we? And what are you here for? So ASES is Stanford's premier global entrepreneurship community. And what that means is that we are focused on entrepreneurship around the world, also in Silicon Valley. We realize that being in Stanford and at Stanford on campus, there's a lot of value in the environment that's around us, but there's also a lot of value all over the world. Entrepreneurship communities are exploding in various places, and we really want to tap into that. One thing that I think really defines ASES is, one, we learn a lot about entrepreneurship, but two, we're really tight-knit as a community. Everyone kind of knows everyone, and it's not really, there's no, I want to say, borders between grade levels or people. It's a really tight-knit community. I think that's what really defines us, and you'll probably hear that from anyone that's in ASES. And feel free to stop me if you have any questions or anyone on leadership. But I think other than that, we'll go straight into introductions. So everyone on leaderships, not everyone's here, but we're going to be introducing everyone just so you have an idea of who you can reach out to if you have questions or want to get to know them. So I guess I'll start, and I think we'll just do name, what year you are, what your major is, and where you currently are. So my name is Jake again. I am the co-president with Trinity. I am a junior majoring in computer science, and I'm currently at home in Anaheim, California. So right next to Disneyland.
Hi, I'm Trinity. I'm one of the co-presidents with Jake. I am currently a junior majoring in computer science and history, and I'm currently in England. And I'll pass it on to Jack.
Hey guys, I'm Jack. I'm in class of 2023, but I'm taking a gap year, so I'll be part of the class of 2024 with you guys. I'm originally from New York, but also I'm living in Beijing right now. So yeah, I'm taking a gap year to work on my startup. But yeah, let's hand it over to Andrew or M.
Hi everyone, my name is M. I'm a rising sophomore studying computer science and history, and right now I'm in Bangkok, which is why it's still bright outside. I have Ethan or Kim next. Emily.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Ethan. Studying mechanical engineering. I'm a junior, and I'm currently in Virginia. Passed on to Kim, Emily.
Okay, I'm Kim. I am also a junior. I'm studying management science and engineering, and I am currently in Reno, Nevada. And I'll pass it on to Emily.
Hey guys, I'm Emily. I'm the semi-co-director, and I'm also a class of 2023, and I'm in Potomac, Maryland. I'll pass it on to Niril.
Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Niril. I am also part of the class of 2023. Potentially will be class of 2024 if I take a full gap year, but I'm also the co-director of Summit, which I'm sure you guys will learn about in the future. So I'll pass it on to Luis.
Hi everyone, my name is Louise and I'm a rising sophomore but possibly taking a gap year, so maybe 24, and I'm community co-director. I am based in the Houston area, so shout out to my Houston peeps, and I will pass it to Bennett.
Hey guys, my name is Bennett. I'm a rising sophomore but potentially thinking about taking a gap year, so might be joining you guys, but yeah, I'm still undeclared, and yeah, I'll pass it on to Rashil.
What's up, guys? I'm Rashil. I'm class of 2023. I'll be studying some form of engineering,
And right now I'm in Sunnyvale, so like 20 minutes from Stanford. I'll pass it on to Jason.
I don't think Jason can make it today, so we'll go to Herschel.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Herschel. Right now I'm living in Escondido Village on campus. I am class 2023 and I will not be taking a gap year. I'm studying CS with perhaps a co-term in MSNE. And I will pass it on to Jessica because Simon right now is at boot camp for the Korean Army. Different boot camp.
Hey everyone. Oh yeah, different boot camp, but still pretty important. I'm Jessica. I'm one of your co-directors for boot camp, which I'm right now. I'm most likely studying econ and you'll learn a little bit more about me later on. So I'll pass it on to Enya.
Hey y'all, my name is Enya. I'm the other co-director for bootcamp. You'll also learn more about me later on. I'm 2023, taking flex for the fall. Who knows where I'll end up after that. So yeah, pass it on to Michelle.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. I'm currently taking a leave of absence, might take a gap year. I'm majoring in CS and I'm currently in SF. And Akshaya. Or Edward, take it away.
Hi everyone, my name is Edward. I'm a sophomore. I'm currently undeclared and I'm in LA right now. And I'll pass it on to Christine or Shia.
Hey, I'm Christine. I'm a senior this year, majoring in international relations, and I'm a Launchpad co-director with Jason, and I'm in San Jose.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you all for your introductions. And then I guess we'll hop into the next part of the presentation. So these are just some of the chapters that we have all over the world. So Stanford is the main branch globally, but through our events, we've met a lot of students internationally that have been very excited to kind of bring back what we do here at Stanford and take it to their hometowns and their home universities. So we have chapters set up all over the world and are always looking to set up new chapters. Some of our ASES alumni are entrepreneurs, product marketing managers, product designers. We kind of, you don't need to have a certain background or be interested in a certain type of entrepreneurship to join ASES. We are open to all kinds of topics, from social entrepreneurship to more techie things, but also anything else that you might be interested in. There's definitely a lot more to entrepreneurship than what is often focused on. And these are just some of the examples of what our alumni go to do. And one clarification that I want to make very clear is that on, I believe, campus groups or the platform that you might have seen for the activity sphere, especially if you're a Frosh, is that our name on there is Asia Pacific Student Entrepreneurship Society. That is no longer what our organization is about. So a brief history and context for that is that, so our organization used to be specifically focused about Asia Pacific, but we realized that we wanted to include a more global perspective for our organization, and acknowledging that a majority of our community has been of Asian descent, but that does not mean at all that you have to be Asian to be part of ASES. We accept anyone of any background, and are actually, one of our biggest initiatives for this year is to try to increase the diversity within our community, because we recognize that having those perspectives is really what global entrepreneurship is all about. So we are really looking forward to meeting you all, regardless of your background or anything like that. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. I'm sure someone on leadership will be taking a look and can stop anyone who's speaking if there are any questions. All right, and with that, we'll jump into taking a look at some of our programs. Here's a picture of, I believe, one of our alumni dinners that we had. So some of the alumni in the Silicon Valley area got together and invited some of our current members to join them. So we have alumni from like 2002, 2003, really coming back to me, and that just goes to show how tight our community is. This person in the middle, his name is Evan Tana. He was the ASES president, I want to say in like 2004, and he's been really active in our community ever since. He's an awesome guy, and that, again, just goes to show how tight our alumni and our community on campus is. With that said, we're going straight into our programs with our one of our more primary ones, which is bootcamp. So I'll hand it off to Anya and Jessica for that.
Thanks, Jake. So just as a refresher, hello everyone, I'm Jessica and I'm one of your co-directors for bootcamp. I'm currently class of 2023, probably majoring in econ or synthesis. I'm from Arizona, but right now I'm in Colorado Springs. if you see anyone else in my Zoom background.
Hey everyone, I'm Enya. I'm your other co-director for boot camp. Currently a sophomore, I'm possibly majoring in product design, synthesis, religious studies, who knows, from Cupertino, California, but right now I'm in Tahoe on vacation.
So Enya and I met at boot camp last year. We were on the same boot camp team, and we had such a great time that we came back to come make it great for all of y'all. So, but we've been saying boot camp a lot. So let's talk about what boot camp actually is.
Yeah, so we are a quarter-long design thinking program for freshmen and sophomores, where we invite speakers and teach lessons about the basics of design thinking and developing your own venture. You'll get the chance to form small teams, create your own mock businesses, and then pitch it to actual investors and VCs in a mock demo day style event. And in fact, many of our students have never had entrepreneurship experience before. For example, Jessica didn't have any experience before fall with business or entrepreneurship, but had an incredible time. And for many of you, we expect boot camp to be your first foray into the world of entrepreneurship and Silicon Valley. So don't worry if you don't have any business or entrepreneurship experience, just apply. The only requirement is that you're open, willing to get your hands dirty, and really learn.
So the main learning objective here, if we can move on to the next slide, is to introduce you to entrepreneurship and design thinking. So we do this by conducting hands-on workshops and inviting some really great speakers across the 8 weeks that you'll be in the program. So we'll begin by teaching you the basics of design thinking, then moving on to need finding, prototyping, and then how to create a full-fledged pitch. Don't worry about if you don't know what any of that means. Like, we're going to teach it to you. So as the program progresses, you'll be directly applying the things that you learned with us during the program into a venture of your own. So that's the core part of boot camp. You'll be working with a team of 5 students to develop a mock business that you will pitch to a team of VCs at the end of the quarter. So we've got some other fun surprises too. And if you have a free moment between now and the application deadline, I really encourage you all to check out our syllabus at syllabus.stanford.edu or by emailing me or any of them.
Yeah, we have some really amazing speakers that we have invited. Yep. And you can see just from the sample here that really a variety of experts from all around Silicon Valley and the world to share their knowledge with you. And to give some examples, next Thursday, if you get accepted, you'll be hearing from Joseph Huang, who's the CEO of StartX. And then next Monday, Mar Hershenson, who's the founding managing partner of Pear VC.
Another great thing about bootcamp is the mentorship. So your team is going to have one dedicated VC mentor. So VC means venture capitalist, to give you advice on your business idea. And beyond the VCs, well, so here on the screen, you can see all of our VC mentors here. So we've got quite the good selection. We also have upperclassmen mentors who are there to help you. And they're able to offer advices, not just on ASES related things, but on Stanford.
Yeah, and for judging, we have some really incredible partners from SoftBank, Floodgate, and Think Plus Ventures coming to judge your pitches that you'll also be able to talk to and connect with too. So we're really excited about that. Oh, yes. Can we move on to the next slide? Great. We also want to make this really, really clear. So we know that many of you are interested in the class, but for those of you who aren't, who just want to participate in boot camp, you do not need to enroll in MSNE 73SI to be in boot camp. But in order to be part of ASES this year, you do have to be enrolled in classes or on a flex term, but you don't need to be in this specific class. In fact, we do not actually expect every student to enroll. Historically, bootcamp has been an entirely extracurricular program, so we're kind of testing the opportunity to offer units this fall. And if there are more students who want to enroll, then there are spots available. We'll be hosting a lottery on that Thursday so we can determine who receives the enrollment code by September 24th. But all of you guys will be full-fledged participants regardless of whether you are enrolled or not. The program will be approximately 5 to 7 hours each week. And if you do end up enrolling, be mindful of the enrollment and withdrawal deadlines. The at-drop deadline is the end of the week 3, and you're admitted into boot camp at the end of week 2. So you only have 1 week to decide and evaluate.
We're expecting to admit around 40 student participants, and 20 of those students will be enrolled in the class itself. So those 40 students will be divided into 8 student teams, and we expect all the teams and all the students to attend all of the meetings and meet with their teams outside of class to work on their ideas. which will end up leading to a time commitment in about 5 to 7 hours. But I can guarantee you, if we move to the next slide, that time commitment is 100% going to be worth it. Part of the reason why we want to see you so often is because ASES is one of the best communities on campus, hands down. Like, some of my closest friends are from boot camp, and it's been such a blessing to have them in my life. And really, like, if you get to be a part of this program and a part of ASES as a whole, you're going to make the kind of friends that you're going to invite to your wedding, like 100%.
Yeah, so if we go to the next slide, make sure you apply to boot camp. The link is on the slide here, and we're hosting rolling interviews. So this means that the earlier you get your application in, the earlier we can offer you an interview slot, which will be really awesome. Because you came to this info session, you also don't need to come to the one on Thursday. Again, the one on Thursday is the exact same as this one. And for those of you who want to learn more about ASES or just meet upperclassmen, ask about classes, you're confused about Think and Power, we actually have an upperclassmen panel next Monday just for students. And this is where you can come and talk about anything you want, not just ASES. Again, application deadline this Friday, rolling apps, so make sure you get them in now.
So are there any specific questions about boot camp? I'll give it like a few minutes. You feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or you can ask in the chat. And we will be able to answer them. Additionally, we're going to be on, oh yeah, for sure, what's up?
So the term is for autumn. If we've already registered and that class would be kind of at the limit, would it hurt our chances to apply where there would be an option like where we wouldn't get the class, but we could do it without the credit? I don't know if that makes sense, sorry.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So again, you don't have to enroll in the class to be a part of boot camp. In fact, it's more like the class is just an added bonus onto this amazing program that already exists. So we actually don't expect all of our students to enroll in the class. So you're all good to go. We won't even look at it when you apply, so don't worry about it. Does that answer your question, John?
Yeah, just would it affect our chances? Like, would are they judged and set separately, or is it all put together and there's just more slots for people?
We can guarantee.
Yeah, it's all one.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Application, we don't even ask you if you want to be in the class. How the process works is that we'll accept all of you guys around Wednesday, Thursday of next week, and then we'll send all of you guys an email. We'll say, do you want to enroll in the class? If there's more people that want to enroll in the slots, we have 20 slots available. We'll do a lottery, and that's how we decide. But we're not going to ask you about if you want to be in the class anytime during the process.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and as a quick note on the application process, if you've already sent your application in, check out your emails tonight because we'll be sending out the first wave of notifications. Well, I should clarify. If you sent your application in before yesterday, and we'll remind you again at the end of the info session just to make sure that you're on top. Are there any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi. When are interviews going to be scheduled and how long are the interviews? Just so I can like make sure I have the time slot open.
Yeah, so we're offering a really, really wide range of time slots. So don't worry that you have to like block anything out. You don't. We'll have a lot of options and we have a lot of flexibility, especially for those of you that are in international time zones. But if you submitted, again, as Jessica said, if you submitted like yesterday, before yesterday noon, yesterday night, you should be getting an email from us if you're accepted into the next round with invitations for Wednesday and Thursday. But if none of the slots work for us, you can always email us and ask for a different slot that we can offer you. Group interviews will happen this week, and we'll give you more information about group interviews, such as length and kind of format during that. And then individual interviews will be after group interviews, and that should occur around early next week, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, just a quick note, it'll take like 20 minutes or 25 minutes for the group interview and like 20 minutes for the individual if you get to there. So, yeah.
Any other questions?
Does that answer your question? Okay, cool. So Brian, I see you have your hand raised. Sorry, we weren't. We're new to Zoom too.
Hi. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was working. I'm taking a gap year this year and I'm a pre-fresh, I guess. Am I not eligible to participate in the boot camp, or yeah, that's basically the question.
Yeah, so we'd like to have NSO be freshman first experience with Stanford, not us. So unfortunately, if you're a pro taking a gap year, you won't be eligible for bootcamp this year. But next year, we would be very happy to see your application. It's amazing that you've taken the initiative to come to this.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Of course. Other questions?
So I have a question about the outside commitment, like the external commitment. Is that structured in any way, or is that just kind of left to each group's own like planning to schedule their own meetings?
Yeah, great question. So when we think about the 5 to 7 hour commitment, this is definitely an average. So you obviously have the commitment that you're spending in class with us, 1.5 hours, 2 times a week. So that's 3 hours right there, right? We're estimating you need average 2 hours more, maybe 5 hours more, other than that, to work with your team on your idea. However, at the beginning of the quarter, it's going to be a lighter load, and considerably as you get towards the end, some teams might want to go above and beyond. They might want to actually create a prototype, maybe even code something, maybe even build something through different methods that are going to take a lot more time. So that's up to them. However, we do expect that teams at least have 5 to 7 hours of availability every week so that they're able to contribute equally. Does that answer your question? I can be a little more specific.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to that as well. Like a lot of it, you know, this is kind of like one of those things where it's like you get what you put into it. And so it's really dependent on like what the team, you know, is committed to, like how basically like, you know, how hard they want to go just to like learn from the experience. So yeah, things to consider.
That answers my question. Thanks.
All right. If we have no more questions for right now, we are going to be at Club Cardinal tomorrow from 5 to 6 p.m. PST. So if anything comes up between now and then, feel free to pop in there. You can also email anybody on leadership or me or Enya or Rashil and Jack. That was a lot of names. So you can basically just email any one of us and we do that to answer your question there as well.
Yeah, and sorry, we're going to
Okay.
be in Club Cardinal. We're going to be in Trester Union at 5 to 6 p.m. PST. So see you then.
One thing to also know is that we'll have time for questions at the end as well. So if you want to stick around, leadership will be sticking around after the info session. So if you have any specific questions or you think anyone is someone you want to talk to, feel free to stick around. We can do breakout rooms. Also, we have a coffee chat program. I think Edward can talk about like more about what we can offer. But normally on campus, we take anyone interested to ASES out for coffee. And we pay for it. We reimburse you for whatever you might want to buy in terms of like a cup of coffee or something like that. And we're happy to chat with you about anything. So if you have questions about classes, think, power, even if it's not related to ASES, we're genuinely really happy just to meet new faces, but also really excited to talk about ASES as well. And I also want to really emphasize that bootcamp is our only selective program. So yes, we can only select 40 people for bootcamp, but that if it happens to be the case that you're not selected for bootcamp, that doesn't mean you can't be part of ASES. We have a ton of other exciting programs that we're going to cover right now, and those are not application-based, meaning that if you are interested, we are more than happy to have you on. So with that, I'm going to move us over to international, which really has to do with chapter relations and partnerships. So Ethan, do you want to talk about chapter relations?
Yeah, sure. So at this point, like you guys have heard a lot about our community and how strong it is. Just continuing off of that theme, I think the beauty of ASES is that it transcends just within Stanford or the Bay Area. It's really a global entrepreneurship community. So you can go on to the next slide. And these are some of our most active chapters, as previously mentioned. And then you can go to the next slide. And this year, I've been talking with some other alumni and some other networks, and they've been really looking to reactivate the previous chapters at ASES. So this is kind of the point of emphasis for this year. Some highlights, KAIST, Tokyo University, Seoul National University. So I've just been talking with each of them to kind of not only be re-enter kind of our global entrepreneurship community, but to really provide connections among them so that like you know, we can all have a really good experience and good time. Next slide. Also, some other recent things is within the United States, we're looking to expand. There's been expressed interest from Georgia Tech. So I've been working with a team there to start a very similar program to boot camp. And that's kind of the point that we're gonna start off of, so that we can gather interest there. And that's kind of the basis and move forward to incorporate other programs like BC3, Speaker Series, and Launchpad, which will be talked about later in this presentation. And I kind of alluded to this before, but kind of this alumni database from all the ASES, ASES chapters around the world, and creating this for the graduating classes so that they can have a network to reach out to in different industries and not feel alone once they graduate. And like to emphasize again, but I got my ASES shirt on. I got my ASES Patagonia, ASES backpack right here. You guys should just highly encourage you to apply and reach out to me if you have any questions.
All right, awesome. Andrew isn't here to talk about chapter relations, but partnerships. But partnerships essentially as a program is focused on helping us connect with outside companies who are outside companies or organizations that are interested in hosting events with us. So yes, we have like set programs like Bootcamp, Summit, and VC3 events that happen every year. But we also have like fireside chats with VCs. So if you are perhaps like a potential founder and want to talk to a VC, we have events that can help connect you with that. And there will be a form that we have you fill in. I believe Jack and Rochelle are currently working on getting that out, but we'll send it in a bit. Basically, it's just an attendance form, so we know you came, we have your email. We can add you to our mailing list and Slack channels if you're interested, as well as there will be a box where you can select any teams that you found interesting, so that way we know we can reach out to you and talk to you more about our programs. So moving on to Summit, which is one of our largest events, and I'll hand it off to Nero and Emily.
Awesome. So I can give you guys a brief introduction of kind of what Summit is. It's basically our international conference that we hold at Stanford, usually on campus every year, where we have around 40 delegates from around the world who are interested in entrepreneurship, come on campus, and then we give them like a 1-week boot camp-esque thing to have them learn more about entrepreneurship, take them on tours to various tech companies, and then have a lot of really, really cool speakers. In the past, we've had like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel come in as speakers. So this is a pretty big event. Unfortunately, this year we aren't going to be able to host it on campus, but we are looking to have our first ever virtual summit, which Nero can talk a little bit more about if you want.
Yeah, so this is like the first time ever that we're like kind of breaking from tradition, and obviously it's because of like the situation we were put in. And so Emily and I have been brainstorming a lot of ways to kind of like make this virtual. One advantage that it has really given us is like the way that we can access speakers is kind of, there are a lot of barriers that have been removed. So we're reaching out to really have like some really big speakers come. Last year, it was scheduled to have the founder of Netflix, Mark Randolph, come on campus and speak. And so we're trying to have this kind of like, you know, have a more intimate kind of connection with the founder and the delegates. And so you'll get, you know, working on Summit, if you're ever interested, you'll get like that chance to talk to these people kind of like personally before as we organize these things. And, you know, just for example, you know, we've had like interest expressed to us from, what's his name? Shoot. Mark Cuban from Shark Tank to speak at this year's one. And so, you know, it's just all stuff that we'll be working on, and you get to really take initiative on who you bring on to this summit. So I definitely recommend for people who are interested to reach out for any questions.
Yeah, and another note, we're brainstorming a lot of really cool ideas. Despite being virtual, we're thinking of having like mini summits in like various pods around the world, and it's just gonna be a ton of fun. So if anyone wants to help with organizing that, feel free to reach out to either me or Nero. Our emails are on the next slide. But yeah, both of us are happy to answer any questions.
yeah, and what Emily said about the whole pods is like we're basically like trying to find a way to make it somewhat on site for like, you know, groups of people in different areas across the world. And so, you know, if you want to kind of help shape out what that might look like, you know, you can also be a part of that.
Any questions for Nero or Emily about Summit?
Oh, and it's planned to be in April 2021. So we're, you know, in a pretty early stage of planning it also.
All right, awesome. So going to one of our next programs, which is Launchpad, and Christine and Jason are our directors for that. Jason couldn't be here today. He's has a class, but Christine's here. She's awesome and she'll take it.
Hi everyone, I'm Christine and I'm the Launchpad co-director this year. And if you go to the next slide, I'll go ahead and start introducing Launchpad. So basically Launchpad is a weekend-long event for high schoolers, usually around the Bay Area, but due to the remote nature of everything, you know, in the coming year, it will also be remote. And I think this actually gives us a really great opportunity to expand our reach of high schoolers and also make this event more equitable. So during this weekend-long event, it's basically a small boot camp, but for high school students, and we teach them technical, design, and business skills, and really expose high schoolers to entrepreneurship for the first time. So what Jason and I envision this year is, again, to reach more under-resourced high schoolers rather than just people in the Bay Area and a lot of kids who already have done something with entrepreneurship, and also showing them that they can actually make an impact in their own community. So we'd really like to have a theme around social impact. We are looking for more team members, so if you're interested, please reach out to me or Jason, and our emails are on the next slide. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them too.
All right. Any questions for Christine about Launchpad? Alrighty. So we'll go to VC3. I'm not sure if Herschel, are you still here?
Still here.
Yep. Awesome. So good. Go ahead.
So my name is Herschel. I'm a sophomore this year, and I'll be directing VC3. Jake, if you go to the next slide, please. So VC3, in my opinion, is one of the best events ACES has to offer. And what it is a round-robin event between VCs and startups that we select. So some of the things that you'd be doing if you're part of the VC3 team is screening startups to see which startups qualify to make it to the top 15. Alongside that, you'll also be reaching out to VCs in the Bay Area to convince them to come. So in years past, they would come on campus, but in this year, since it will be virtual, the VCs will be on a Zoom call. But a large part of the event is reaching out to VCs and startups to screen them and see if they are fit for the event. And what's good about VC3 is it's one of the events that could transition to a virtual format very well, because in years past, the drive over to the Stanford campus has been a pretty big barrier for a lot of our VCs. So my plan for this year is VC3 will be happening sometime in early May. It will be a Zoom call spread out across 2 days with 90-minute sessions on each day. We are hoping to have a few more startups this year than in years past, because it is easy to have more startups on a virtual format. So that's something that we are hoping to explore this year. But if you are interested in joining, please feel free to shoot me an email. It's on the next slide.
Awesome.
And with that, yeah, I will pass it on to Jake.
Yes, just to be clear, for a lot of these programs, besides bootcamp, you are talking to the directors to be part of the planning team, meaning that you're helping direct the event, things like that. Of course, if you're interested in applying to events like VC3 to be a founder to interact with the VCs, you're more than welcome to do that. But specifically, we're specifically recruiting for people to help plan these events. And I planned VC3 last year. It's a great deal of fun. You meet a ton of really cool people. Any questions for Herschel about VC3? Awesome. So we'll go to ASES Abroad with Simon, who's not here. But ASES Abroad is one of our newer programs. And actually, I think Trinity, would you mind touching on ASES Abroad and plans we have for this year?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I guess kind of one of the biggest things that's really interesting about ACES Abroad is we connect with companies across the world, and we give you guys the opportunity, or anyone on Stanford's campus or affiliated with Stanford, the opportunity to get connected with startups across the world and be able to intern with them either during the summer or part-time, virtually or remotely. And this year, what's super exciting is we have a digital platform where you guys have more of an ability on both sides to be transparent about who you're being connected with and what startups you end up deciding to continue your application with. Yeah, so Simon sadly couldn't join us today, but he's put a lot of work into it this summer and has put in a list of different startups across the world for people to kind of reach out to. So it's super exciting.
We'll have, actually I go next. I forgot to message her, but she had to hop out for a bit. So we'll touch on speaker series a bit later. And for now, we'll skip to community with Luis and Bennett.
Yeah, if you go to the next slide, please.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Bennett, and Luis is my community co-director as well. But yeah, so we are the community co-directors, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do. But I think it can really be broken down into 3 categories. And so that would be events/retreats, mentoring, and then study nights. So in events/retreats, we usually hold about one event every quarter, and that could be like a special dinner night or something of that caliber. And then also we hold retreats for boot camp and leadership team, and then also sometimes for the general public. And then the second category is mentoring. And so we have a really great, I guess just like alumni and student organization or just network across. And so we really try to utilize that by holding mentorship programs and events and those kinds of things so that we can have people network with each other. And so then the last category is study nights. And I'd say last year, before the whole quarantine thing happened, we held study nights every Tuesday. And so we basically just ordered a bunch of McDonald's or In-N-Out burgers or Chick-fil-A, and then we would, spend the night studying together. All right, next slide. But since, we've had to go virtual, that didn't necessarily mean that the fun had to end there. So we've done a couple of events. We did an escape room just 2 weeks ago, which is pretty fun. We had a bunch of game nights. And also we had a PLATES, which stands for Platonic Dates, where we just, get matched with someone and then you can have a conversation with them. But we are excited to also be holding more events in the future, whether that's movie nights or doing PowerPoint parties. So just keep an eye out for those.
Next slide, please. And yeah, so I just want to talk really briefly, kind of like Jessica and Jake, and I think everyone on leadership mentioned, community is so important, and that's really something that defines ASES. So we want ASES to be like a home for you guys at Stanford, and we want ASES to feel like a family. And besides that, especially for if you guys are frosh or transfers, or even in your sophomore year like me, or whatever year you are, we know that the virtual learning experience is not what anyone expected, but we want you guys to feel connected, and we want you guys to feel like you guys have a community, and we hope to be able to craft that through ASES. So some things that we really wanted to put on when we get back to campus eventually are a whole bunch of really fun things, like family potlucks or trips to Half Moon Bay, which is the beach, or picnics on Meyer Green, or camping trips, or boba runs, holiday parties, volunteering. So lots of different things, and we really just really want to emphasize that ACE is a community, and we want to be that community for you. Jake, next slide, please. And yeah, so here you can see so many happy faces, so many smiling people, and this could be you if you join ACES. So definitely come for the fun, come for the memories, and come for the friendships. Yeah, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Bennett or I. We are so happy to help you, whether it's with anything you're going through school, like you said, or if you want to talk more about ACES community, we're here for you.
One more thing I'd like to add on is just that if you want to help plan events too, we'd love to have you on the team.
All right, awesome. So Akshay is here now, so let's go back. If I can back to speaker series with Akshay.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Akshaya. I'm this year's Speaker Series Director. And Speaker Series is an event series that we host every year as part of ASES, where we invite tons of amazing people to come on campus and talk to ASES members and the general Stanford community about all sorts of topics in entrepreneurship and venture capital. So next slide. Here are some of the events that Speaker Series hosted last year. We have a ton of very, very amazing speakers that we usually invite every year. Last year we had topics on various different industries and technologies, as well as a Women in Silicon Valley panel. And we usually also have partnerships with VC firms and companies in the Bay Area that we also usually reach out to. Now, next slide. But this year, since we're virtual, we get to expand our reach and do even more as part of Speaker Series and host really amazing events for the Stanford community. One, this means that we get to have an even more diverse set of speakers and reach out to all the industries that we possibly can and talk to people from various areas of entrepreneurship. We also can have a much larger audience now that we're all on Zoom, and we can also host joint events with the Stanford Graduate School of Business, as well as other organizations on campus, and kind of invite people even outside of ASES to attend larger scale events. But in addition to those larger scale events, we can also host smaller kind of small group discussions with just select ASES members. And last year, one of the event series that I ran was called Fireside Pitch, where we would invite a venture capitalist to speak at the event for the first like 30 or so minutes, talking about how they invest as a VC and what they look for in founders. And then the next 30 minutes would be for people from the audience to pitch their startup ideas and get feedback from the VC mentor or guest. So we'd be happy to continue that event series, as well as doing small group sessions with ASES members. So if you're interested in bringing really high profile, talented people to come to speak for ASES and engage with the general entrepreneurship community at Stanford, definitely join Speaker Series.
Awesome. Any questions for Akshay about Speaker Series? All right, let's see. I think alumni is up next with Michelle.
Hi, I'm Michelle. So for ASES, we have a really extensive network of alumni, from previous Stanford alum to summit participants all around the world. So we're working on planning ways to connect ASES members, so you all and existing members, with alumni through virtual events, alumni spotlights, and one-to-one mentorship. It's a really great way to connect with really amazing people who have also been members of ASES and are on their own journeys now, and just connect with that greater network. So stay tuned for more opportunities. And feel free to shoot me an email if you are interested in working with me.
Awesome. And one of the new teams that we are starting this year is our marketing design team. So normally in the past, it's been kind of up to our director to handle all of this. But we realized that, especially in a virtual setting, marketing and increasing our presence online is really important. So we want to offer that opportunity and they get all of you involved as well. So I'll leave it up to Kimberly to talk a bit more about what that might look like.
Awesome. Can you go to the next slide? Okay, so I lead the marketing and design team, and if you go to the next slide, we really emphasize that ASES is a brand. We really want to like come up with like a unified front, and so we have like this whole brand book. Next slide. And so on the marketing team, essentially we like support ASES. We kind of get involved in all the different teams, providing like different marketing materials, and also running the social media. And so if you want to learn about design or have any questions about that, you can feel free to reach out to me. We work on like promotional videos. We also do like design workshops. So like my year of boot camp, the marketing team actually hosted a workshop during boot camp about how to like design a pitch deck. And so we work on like various things. And yeah, if you aren't already, go follow ASES Stanford on like Facebook and Instagram. We're posting a lot of like content leading up to the deadline, introducing like you guys to like the ASES community, and also you can contact us via those platforms as well. So yeah.
And then also one of our newer teams is tech. So I'll leave it up to M to talk about what he has envisioned for that.
Hi everyone, hope you're all having a great day. My name is M and I am the tech director for our ASES team this year. So the main responsibility for the tech team is to maintain and update the website to make sure that everything is correct and working properly. Our main project for this year actually is to develop a more modern version of our website using more up-to-date and easily maintainable libraries that we're not currently using. And if you could go to the next slide, please. Beyond that, we also try to find ways to use technology to make the jobs of the other teams a bit easier. So for example, recently I've been working with the ASES Abroad team to develop an online portal that would make communications between our students and the companies that want to recruit from us easier. This is our most recent project, but we're constantly looking for ways to make our club that much better through technology. So historically, we haven't exactly been a team before, and I'm currently the only one responsible for tech. But if this does sound like something you'd be interested in helping out in, then please feel free to reach out and send me a message. Thank you, and back to you, Jake.
Awesome. So that kind of wraps up all of our programs. Again, we'll have room for questions at the end. But again, any and all of our directors, as well as Trini and myself, and Edward, who's our financial officer, anyone at leadership really we're really open to talk to you. Feel free to message us on social media, email us. Our emails are on this slide as well as our website. So feel free to reach out to us. More than happy to set up a time to chat. Yeah, and we're really excited to meet you. So just a quick reminder again that our bootcamp applications are on Friday. That's the deadline. So apply as soon as possible. And even if you're not interested in bootcamp and want to apply for other programs, feel free to reach out to us, ask questions after the info session. Really, really excited to meet you all. And that's pretty much it. So here's a quick picture of our last bootcamp class, and then we'll kind of end it off with questions. I think Jack and Michelle had a quick video they want to show at the end of the info session, kind of a quick welcome video we made for y'all. But first, let's field any questions that anyone might have. Any questions about any of the programs, ASES, Stanford, really about anything? And yeah.
I have a question. Do most of the programs, like other than bootcamp, start later after autumn, or are they starting right now in autumn as well? And if they are starting in autumn, is there like a way to join later on so that, you know, you can balance your hours more out?
That's a really good question. So a lot of our programming occurs in winter and spring, but that doesn't mean that our teams aren't active. A lot of our teams are actively planning for the events that occur later on. A speaker series also is a team that is working throughout the year, so including autumn. And even for, let's say, if you are accepted into boot camp and you're participating in boot camp, we'll find ways to help you balance if you are interested in other teams. So you're really welcome to join at any time in the year. It doesn't have to be fall. So if you feel like you're kind of packed your schedule, we're more than happy to have you the rest of the year. Great question. Any other questions?
Yeah, I'd also say that like the biggest advantage you get basically from joining earlier is just like you'd have more ability to like make more impact with maybe like some idea of your own, or like if you want to lead something. That's all.
Yeah. And one thing, if anyone else has any questions, we are going to post a Typeform link in the chat, so please make sure you fill that out. That's how we'll know that you're here, as well as what teams you're interested in.
Yeah, I just sent that. So everyone, make sure you go there, mark all the teams you're interested in, list your email and your name. We just want to have a record of who was here, and then also just like see what we can connect with you, connect you guys with like the leaders of the different event teams, so you guys can join them. So yeah.
And this is separate from bootcamp. So this form is just for us to know that you were here. If you're interested in bootcamp, please make sure that you still apply on the tiny URL that we have in this presentation. And I believe Jessica and I need to put in the chat. If you send that one more time, that'd be awesome. But yeah, so like make sure you fill that out. That's how we'll know you're here. Any other questions about ASES or anything?
And if you guys have questions afterwards, I'm the recruitment co-director along with Jack. So our emails are up on this page, so you can either screenshot it or they're also on the website. So just, you can also send us an email there. So yeah.
All right, so we got a question from Pranit. Sorry if I said your pronounce your name wrong, but so I got a question regarding Summit. How's the selection process and how long does it typically take? So I'll leave it up to Nero and Emily to answer that.
Do you mean the selection process for selecting delegates?
Well, either way, I guess like yeah, for delegates, we're going to be recruiting through like February. We're gonna wait until like 2 months before the entire thing, at least as of now. And then I guess in terms of having speakers, like we're gonna plan on hopefully having that set up like within the next 2 to 3 months.
Oh, sorry if this wasn't clear, but the delegates aren't usually ASES members. They're students from all across the world that usually come to Stanford for Summit. And the Summit team is in charge of planning the event and kind of like coordinating all these things. Like this year, like coordinating the mini summits in the different countries, like setting up and like coordinating with the speakers, as well as like having a really good event lineup as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like non-Stanford, not ASES technically, but it's all for people for like across the country, across the world.
Awesome, great question. Any other questions about ASES or any of our programs? All right, awesome. I think I'll hand it off. If there are any other questions, again, feel free. We'll stick around at the end if you want to chat about anything. But I think Jack and Michelle kind of have a kind of capstone video that they wanted to show.
Yeah, for sure. Hey guys, it's really great to have you guys here today with us. And just to cap it off the meeting, we created sort of like a small compilation of sort of just leadership talking about, you know, how they exactly felt towards ASES and, you know, what they got out of ASES overall. And so I'm going to try to share my screen here with the whole video. And, you know, it's still, you guys are seeing sort of like the fresh cut version of it. So like it's not entirely finished, but I just want to give you guys a sense of what ASES life is like and how in general people were saying about number one, the bootcamp experience, and number two, how they felt about the organization overall. Yeah, so one second, let me just share my screen really quick and get it started. One sec. All right, so yeah, it's like yeah, just I guess just sit back and enjoy. So there we go. Jake, our president. It's weird. Wait one sec. All right, whatever. Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, one second. Let me just directly use it, the iMovie. All right. All right, I'm just gonna. All right. Hey, also, can you guys hear this, by the way? The
I have
audio?
to show the audio.
All right, one sec.
Welcome to Stanford.
What about now?
Yeah.
All right, stop.
Welcome to Stanford.
Welcome to Stanford.
Welcome to Stanford. Welcome to Stanford.
Welcome to Stanford.
Welcome to the farm. Welcome to the farm.
Welcome to ASES.
Welcome to the farm.
Welcome to Stanford.
Welcome to the farm. The best community on campus.
An incredible experience.
I love our community
And absolutely loved it.
lots of ASES love and crackhead energy at 3 a.m. in the morning.
An incredible cohort of people that I consider my closest friends.
I don't think I would have gotten to know these people without ASES, and they're now some of my best friends, and we always talk and call together. So.
And it was an amazing introduction to the world of entrepreneurship and venture capital and Silicon Valley.
got to talk and network with really cool VCs. I learned a ton.
In those steps and provide me with the mentorship and the resources to make this possible.
And having really incredible speakers like the co-founder of Netflix.
Bootcamp provided me with key skills in design thinking, need finding, and other essentials of entrepreneurship and product development.
It's a group of people that are very driven and very passionate about changing the world.
But I wouldn't trade that experience with anything. Shout out Team Doji.
I got to meet a group of really awesome Stanford students, got really close to my bootcamp group specifically. It was a great experience that I would highly recommend to anyone.
Those were connections that I really would never have had without ASES, and it really helped me throughout my freshman year at ASES.
Everyone has such a great experience while they're on campus that all they want to do is continue contributing to the community even when they're off campus.
So excited to meet you, and since interviews are rolling, make sure you apply today.
All right, yeah. So there we go. You guys heard Enya? So right now our application is rolling. So apply to bootcamp today before our deadline, I think this Friday. So yeah, there we go. Yeah.
That pretty much wraps up our info session. Again, the one on Thursday is exactly the same, so you don't have to come. Make sure you fill out the link before you leave or after. And again, we'll stick around for any questions. But other than that, thank you all for coming and hope to see you soon.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Follow us on Facebook.
Thank you for coming, guys.
Thank you.
Don't worry, if you have questions, stay. Don't worry, we're here.
Hello?
Yep.
Hello.
Oh, hi. So I was wondering, since I can't participate in the boot camp, am I still allowed to, I guess, participate in other aspects of the club, or should I just honestly just wait a year until I get on campus next fall?
So technically, according to university guidelines, students who are on like a gap year aren't allowed to participate in like extracurricular activities on campus. So unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to have you on any of our teams. But like we said, definitely once you were enrolled as a student, we'd be really, really happy to have you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Come back next year.
I will. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Brian. Let's see. Solomon or Matt, did you have anything, or not? Maybe you just or something.
I can put them in for waiting room. Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, good job, y'all. I think that went really well. Thank you all for coming, especially for those who are in different time zones. I know it's rough, but this is the start of the first week of recruitment, and I think it was a really, really good start.
Oh, wait, there's
Okay,
someone.
do you want to stop recording?
I'm going to stop recording, but also there was someone that just